Today we're going to discuss the past paper questions of all the functional groups which we have done up till now. We'll prefer the MCQs because they need more challenge because of the test coming tomorrow. So I'm going to give you a quick review, a revision through the MCQs of all the functional groups we have done up till now. Okay, we are starting from carboxylic acid. So you can give heading carboxylic acid. All of you, those who are on the Zoom or here, please give heading carboxylic acids, and you can open the notes of carboxylic acid and keep it in front of you. Okay, because I'll be asking questions from you time and again. The diagram shows the structure of an organic compound. Which row is correct? The name of the acid and reacts with sodium carbonate to produce carbon dioxide. So if you look at the structure of this organic compound, so first of all, whenever you look at organic compound, bacho, you need to identify the functional group because your all thinking is actually based on the functional group. So you have to think about the functional group. Then the properties come to your mind. Okay. At this moment, you have to open the carboxylic acid notes in front of you because I'm telling you all the questions which are coming ahead will be related to the carboxylic acid for a while. Okay, what is this functional group, Manur? Can you identify this functional group here? Yes, so it's a carboxylic acid. Now, what's the thought process is that you have to stop thinking anything else. You will just think about the carboxylic acid now as soon as you identify this. And as soon as I think about the carboxylic acid, I know what I have to think. I have to think about its reaction of esterification. I have to think about its reaction with metal, metal oxide, metal hydroxide, and metal carbonates, in which they give effervescence. And I have to think about their reaction with alcohols to form esters, and I have to think about their formation, the vinegar formation from alcohol oxidation. That's all I have learned about the carboxylic acid in our syllabus. Okay, now starting from this, what is the name of this? Name is based on number of carbon. How many carbon in this carboxylic acids? See, so it's going to be a propanoic acid, C and D. And what about the sodium carbonate to produce carbon dioxide? Does it react with sodium carbonate to produce carbon dioxide?
Yes.
Yes, yesterday we learned about this, that all the carboxylic acid, they react with all the carbonates and hydrogen carbonates to form carbon dioxide and water and salt. Okay, so if I write this like this, CH3, CH2, please copy this equation with me, COOH plus Na2CO3. इसका प्रिंसिपल भी आपको याद होना चाहिए. What was the principle I made you learn yesterday? क्या होगा? The sodium is going to go and replace this H. क्या बनेगा? CH3, CH2, COONA. और Na का क्या करना होता है? You have to look at the charges. +1, -1, they cancel out to form what? Carbon dioxide and water. Okay. So this is the effervescence carbon dioxide gives off. So this is the answer D. Next. Which statement is correct? Carboxylic acid contains functional group this. Is it correct? That's wrong because it should have been like this. Okay. What about ethanoic acid will react and fizz with copper added? No, I told you the copper, silver, gold, platinum. These are the metals. If you don't have written in the notes, so please write down. The pure metals, go into the notes, please. Reaction of carboxylic acid with metals, may you have to write copper, silver, gold, platinum, and mercury. These are the metals which do not react. The metal, their compounds still do react. Copper ka compound react karega. So please write down. This is the list of metals which do not react directly with dilute acids or carboxylic acid or any acids. Copper, silver, Au gold, Pt platinum, and Hg silver. You should add this into your notes. Ethanol will decolorize potassium manganate. Yes, ethanol will be, potassium manganate is an oxidizing agent. It will oxidize the ethanol, right? And it will be, yes, the color will be changed. So which statement is correct? This one. The structure of ethyl ethanoate is this. What's wrong with this, Pacho? What's wrong with D? What's wrong with D?
Yeah, ester.
Its name is not ethyl ethanoate. It is an ester. Yes. You know when we name this ester, we have to divide it into two parts, before oxygen and after oxygen. So what is the difference? Yes. So this is methyl methanoate. ये क्या है? ये methyl methanoate है. This is methyl methanoate. Okay? The compound has the following structure. Which reaction will occur with this compound? Whenever you look at the structure, बच्चों, I'm telling you what you have to look for the functional group. सबसे पहली चीज यही करनी है. ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड को देखते ही उसका क्या देखना है? फंक्शनल ग्रुप, राइट? जो लोग जूम पे उनके भी टेबल्स प्लीज मंगवाएं. COOH ये कौन सा फंक्शनल ग्रुप है? कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड. दूसरा, what about the other? What about this one? This is an alkene. Okay. So the one is carboxylic acid, the other one is alkene. Okay, now think about the reactions of carboxylic acid and think about the reactions of alkene now. Just forget all other organic. Okay. Once you spot the functional group, बस उसके बारे में सोचना है. Bromine water will decolorize. Yes, because it does decolorize if the bromine is there. It will react with alcohol to form ester. Yes, alkenes don't, but carboxylic acids do. It will react with sodium metal because sodium metal carboxylic acid reacts. So all three statements are correct. So option is C. A compound X has a molecular formula C4H8O2. It reacts with calcium carbonate to give calcium carbon dioxide. So look at this compound, bacho, C4H8O2, and it reacts with calcium carbonate. Okay? And gives off what? Carbon dioxide. We all know that carbon dioxide जो है वो कौन react करता है? Carbon dioxide कब आता है carbonate के साथ? When organic compound is what? It is carboxylic acid. So we know this C4H8 is a carboxylic acid. और कौन सा acid होगा? Butanoic acid. Okay? But let's see. Oh, okay. What are the options then? Is A, B, C, D? Which one? By the way, A is when COO के बाद carbon आ जाए, so it's an ester. It's not carboxylic acid. Again, COO के बाद carbon आ जाए, तो वो क्या होता है? After COO, when there is a carbon, so it's an ester. It's not carboxylic acid. So ये भी ester है. This is ester. This is ester. What about this? COO के बाद कौन है? Hydrogen. So when COO के बाद hydrogen होगा, तो it will be a carboxylic acid. So we were looking for this carboxylic acid, and it is butanoic acid. Okay. So keep in mind, pay attention, everyone. Whenever I write CH3CO2H, so it's a carboxylic acid. And if I write CH3CO2CH3, it's an ester because CH3CO and then H, and in this case CH3COO, and then again what is this? CH3. Do you get it? So this is the difference. CH3 C double bond OH. So answer is D. Okay. So I hope now you will be able to identify the ester later on. जब CO2 के बाद H आ जाए तो acid है, CO2 के बाद C आ जाए तो ester है. Okay. Next. When ethanol reacts with ethanoic acid, the ester ethyl ethanoate is formed. What is the formula of ester formed when methanol reacts with the butanoic acid? Okay, bacho, this is butanoic acid. and methanol reacts with the butanoic acid. Can you tell me the formula of the ester formed? You can do your working. I'm giving you a time. Methanol with the butanoic acid. These structures. Methanol, I can write methanol here. Here. And the butanoic acid is C3. Here it is. Now give it a short G.
B.
Answer is? I can give you a hint. We used to write carboxylic acid पहले और फिर
सर पीछे
alcohol.
से डी लग रहा है.
D. Yes, बच्चों, look at that closely. Pay attention. C3H7CO2 आ गया एसिड और फिर उसके बाद कितने कार्बन है? एक. That is methanol. Okay. Here how identified. इस केस में ये क्या है? इसको देख लेते हैं. What is this? Propanoate. And what is this? Ethyl. So this is ethyl propanoate. I tell you, I picked up the hardest questions which come. So don't worry about it कि ये क्या आ गया, ये तो आ गया तो मेरे से होना नहीं है. So मैंने on purpose जो GCE और IGCSE के सबसे hardest question आए हुए थे, I have chosen them, I have picked them up just for you ताकि मैं खुद जो करवा रहा हूँ. Okay, so इससे आसान ही आते हैं, ये इससे मुश्किल कभी नहीं आए. Okay, now what about this? IGCSE में तो this is distinction level. Okay. And for GCE, this is A star level, right? जिसमें 2-3 क्वेश्चन आउट ऑफ 10 इस तरह के होते हैं. ओके, सो बट मैंने उनको क्लब करके एक मुश्किल क्वेश्चंस पिक किए हैं. ओके, व्हाट अबाउट दिस? C3C, ये 4 है और ये 2 है. क्या नाम होगा इसका? इथाइल ब्यूटानोएट. इसका क्या नाम होगा बच्चों? व्हाट अबाउट दिस? What is the name of this? Propyl? No, propyl. यहाँ 2 कार्बन है ना बच्चों. Propyl ethanoate. What about this? ये तो अभी हमने कहा है. Methyl butanoate. This is what we were looking for actually. Which statement would be true for the compound which has the formula shown here? Just look at the compound and spot the वो क्या होते हैं जो. Yes, so even it's twice, it's a carboxylic acid. These kind of carboxylic acids are known as carboxylic acid. Diamine 2. तो इसमें 2 carboxylic acid है ना, तो हम इसे dicarboxylic acid कहते हैं. But making it di won't affect its properties. The properties would be the same as carboxylic acid. Okay. It would react with excess of sodium hydroxide in 1:1 ratio. So this is I'm going to explain, as we have not done this yet. We'll do it in the acid-base salts wala chapter. So sodium hydroxide is an alkali. But one alkali, the rule is one alkali reacts with one carboxylic acid. So it means you need how many alkalis to react? 2. So ratio could not be 1:1. The ratio could be 1:2. So that's not a right option. In aqueous solution, it would have pH of 9.5. Acids has the pH less than 7. And it would react with an alcohol to form an ester. Yes, they do. All the carboxylic acid, wo di ho ya mono ho, They always react with the alcohol to form carboxylic acids. 3 is the correct statement. Okay. When ethanol reacts, I think we just did this. Yeah, we did this. A liquid reacts with each of sodium carbonate, sodium hydroxide, and ethanol. What this liquid could be? Right, we just did कि कार्बोनेट के साथ, हाइड्रोक्साइड के साथ और अल्कोहल के साथ रिएक्ट करने वाला कौन होगा? They are the reactions of carboxylic acids, right? So what is the answer then? Ethanoic acid. Okay, ethanoic acid और acid are the one जो कार्बोनेट से, हाइड्रोक्साइड से और अल्कोहल से रिएक्ट करते हैं. अल्कोहल से रिएक्ट करके एस्टर बनाते हैं और बाकी दोनों से सॉल्ट एंड वाटर बना देते हैं. Right? Okay, now I'm just quickly. Next is this. Okay, next, let's discuss a few questions from Esther. Here it is. Look at this. Which property of the liquid ester can be used to check its purity? For any liquid, the purity check is done by looking at its boiling point. For any solid, the purity is checked by looking at its melting point. Okay, two esters have the same molecular formula, C3H6O2. What are the names of two esters? This is a bit tricky now. Maybe. Esters का molecular formula C3H6O2 है. यानी ester में total carbon कितने हैं? You can do your working if you want to. C3H6O2. Just think about it कि ester हमेशा दो के combination से बनता है. Ester is always formed by combining carboxylic acid and alcohol. तो तीन का अगर ester है तो क्या ऑप्शंस हो सकती हैं?
1 and 3.
कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड 2 हो और अल्कोहल 1 हो. ठीक है, यानी 2 कार्बन कम फ्रॉम कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड एंड 1 कार्बन फ्रॉम कम अल्कोहल. हो सकता है ना ऐसा?
Yes, sir.
एक इसका उल्टा भी तो हो सकता है. 2 कार्बन कम फ्रॉम अल्कोहल एंड 1 कार्बन कम फ्रॉम कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड. ऐसा भी तो हो सकता है. कोई और तीसरी ऑप्शन है? यही एक ऑप्शन है ना. ओके, नाउ अगर दो, इसका नाम क्या होगा? फिर इसका नाम बता दें. अगर एक अल्कोहल से आए और एक 2 कार्बन इससे आए, मिथाइल
एथेनोएट.
ओके, और इसका नाम क्या होगा?
इथाइल मिथोनेट. तो 1 and 3 भी.
मिथाइल एथेनोएट ये वाला 1 है और दूसरा कौन सा है? इथाइल मेथनोएट. तो यही 2 ऑप्शंस होंगे, है ना? 1 and 3, so B. Is it clear? Yes. Okay, esters are formed when alcohol react with carboxylic acid. Which ester would be formed using carboxylic acid and alcohol shown here? इसको गौर से देख लिया आपने? I'll scroll it down. So just look at this. कि carboxylic acid में कितने कार्बन है? जिसमें से 4 चेन में है और एक ब्रांच में, और वो ब्रांच किस कार्बन पे है? कार्बन नंबर 2 पे. कीप इन माइंड. ओके, अल्कोहल में कितने कार्बन है? 3 चेन में है, लेकिन जो OH लगा हुआ है वो टर्मिनल पे नहीं लगा हुआ, वो बीच वाले कार्बन पे लगा हुआ है. 1 2 3. So obviously ये बीच वाला कार्बन is gonna attach with this. Okay, so now this is a bit tricky, but
सर
I
समझ
gave
नहीं आई,
a lot
दोबारा
of hints.
समझा दो।
जब ये कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड जुड़ेगा तो ये अपना क्या लूज करेगा, ये अपना क्या लूज करेगा? So I have to put this carbon and attach it here. Is it so?
कार्बन
Clear
1
है
क्यों
ये?
नहीं होगा? जो कार्बन 1 है वो क्यों नहीं अटैच होगा?
नो, ऑक्सीजन अटैच होता है ना, कार्बन तो नहीं। अल्कोहल का क्या अटैच होता है कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड के साथ? ऑक्सीजन। तो जो ऑक्सीजन है, ये ऑक्सीजन, ये वाला अटैच होगा। ओके, नाउ कम टू दिस। अब आपको क्या लगता है ये कौन सा आंसर होगा इसमें? यू हैव टू टेल मी द आंसर फॉर दिस। ये पहले किसी ने गलत किया हुआ। Somebody did a wrong answer, so I have to erase it. Okay. फिर मैंने कहा इसमें से कोई कोई आप हिंट बना लें, बिकॉज क्वेश्चन हैज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड लाइक दिस के आधा सेक्शन ऊपर है, क्वाइट अ रॉन्ग वे। कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड में 4 कार्बन है और 2 पे ब्रांच है, और अल्कोहल सेंटर वाला कार्बन अटैच करना है। ओके, सेंटर वाला। ओके, नाउ लुक एट दिस। कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड में 4 कार्बन है और 1 ब्रांच है। अब देखो, ए तो नहीं हो सकता, मैं ये बता देता हूं क्यों नहीं हो सकता इन माय ओपिनियन। ए में कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड में कितने कार्बन है चेन में, और कितने होने चाहिए थे? तो ये तो मैंने यहीं काट दिया। व्हाट अबाउट बी? कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड में चेन में कितने कार्बन है, होने कितने चाहिए थे? ये भी मैंने काट दिया। बिकॉज इन माय कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड चेन में 4 कार्बन है और 2 पे ब्रांच है। ओके, नाउ कमिंग टू दिस। व्हाट अबाउट सी? अब कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड उल्टा लिख दिया, चेन में कितने कार्बन है? वो तो सही बात है, और ब्रांच किस कार्बन पे है? जबकि मेरे जो जो मुझे उसने कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड दिया था उसमें किस पे थी? यस, अगेन आई एम गोना क्रॉस दिस आउट। व्हाट अबाउट दिस? 1 2 3 4, और ब्रांच किस पे है? और जो अल्कोहल अटैच है वो भी आपको नजर आ रहा है, सेंटर वाला कार्बन अटैच है ना, तो यस, दैट इज द आंसर। Which pair of compounds are both esters and the isomers of each other? इन दोनों में से you need to identify the esters बच्चों, और isomers as well. Esters and isomers. A is ester. A is ester. I just told you a while ago, CO2 के बाद अगर कार्बन मिलेगा तो एस्टर होगा. If there is a carbon after CO2, it's an ester. And if there is CO2 के बाद hydrogen, it's a. So both should be esters. No, this is ester, but this is carboxylic acid. What about this? Ester. And what is this? Carboxylic acid. So what about this? No. What about C? Both are esters. Now you have to see, are they the isomers or not? For isomers, they should have same molecular formula, but the different structures. Now look at them closely. 2 carbons from acid and 2 carbon from this. So this is ethyl ethanoate. And what about this? 3 here and 1 here. So I think that makes isomer because total number is the same, right? Yes, one of them is ethyl ethanoate and methyl propanoate. Yes, they are the isomers. Okay. What's wrong with D, by the way? They are esters. Both of them are esters. But they are not structural isomers. Why not isomers? Because 3 plus 1, 4 plus 1, 5. This is a 5 carbon. And what about this? 2 and 2, 4 carbon. So molecular formula should be the same to be an ester, to be an isomer. Again, I don't know. Okay. Diagram shows the structure of an ester. What are the starting material for making this compound? I don't think so. I would like to disagree.
Then butanoic acid.
Okay, here it is the acid part. How many carbons in the acid? So it should be butanoic acid. And how many in the carbon oxygen? So it should be propanol. So propanol and butanoic acid. Where is the... Okay. Now going to the alkenes, bacho. Let's go to the no alcohols. Okay, पहले alkenes ही कर लेते हैं. Okay, here is the alcohol. Which alcohol will, on oxidation, produce this acid? First, look at the acid. How many carbon? Known as propanoic acid. So, should be which alcohol? Propanol. Because they always oxidize to give the respective carboxylic acid. Ethanol se ethanoic, methanol se methanoic, propanol se propanoic, right? So what about this? Which is the propanol? C is the answer. Okay. How many of the following statements about ethanol are correct? Molecular formula of ethanol is C2H6O. I believe so. Manufactured from ethene and steam. Oxidizes to ethanoic acid. Yes. Produced by fermentation. Used as a fuel. Used as a solvent. So how many statements are correct? Which statement about the members of homologous series of alcohols is correct? Alcohol with 2 carbon atoms in each molecule is called methanol. No. Called ethanol. Butanol can be combusted to give carbon dioxide and water only. Right or no? Ethanol is only alcohol that can be oxidized to carboxylic acid. Propanol can be made by catalyst addition of ethene. Because propanol can be made by catalytic oxidation of propene, not ethene. Okay. Ethanol is produced by the fermentation of glucose from a sugar cane. In some countries, ethanol is used as a fuel. Which statement? Sugar cane is a non-renewable energy source. Sugar cane is ganna. You understand ganna? Is a non-renewable, or once you use the ganna, you can't get it back. Or it's a renewable. ओ भाई गन्ने को खा लेंगे तो दोबारा कास्ट कर सकते हैं नहीं obviously वो वाला तो नहीं आ सकता, but you can get the sugar cane always. It's a renewable energy source. Okay, it's not in. When sugar cane is growing, it removes carbon dioxide from atmosphere. When the plants grow, do they remove carbon dioxide? Manur is not agreeing with us. Manur, what do you think? What they do when they do process of photosynthesis? Okay, so first one is wrong. It's a renewable energy source. Second one is right. So what is the answer? 2 only. Which compound on combustion never forms carbon? Okay, just leave it for a while. Okay, the structural formula of organic compounds are shown here. Which compounds are alcohols? Alcohols, 1 is alcohol, 2 is alcohol, 3 is alcohol. When you have 2 alcohol, so as you call dicarboxylic or dioic, you call it diol, but it remains alcohol with all the properties. And what about this? Yes. So what about which color change occurs when the ethanol is added to small quantity of warm acid? Why potassium dichromate? Ethanol को potassium dichromate में add करते हैं तो क्या होता है? Orange to green. Okay. But listen. No. I have to. So I'm gonna give you a question as a homework. You have to bring it tomorrow, right? This is the homework for tomorrow, right? So here's the
सर कल
homework.
टेस्ट नहीं है?
टेस्ट भी है बट अब रोजाना होमवर्क भी हुआ करेगा. Here is the homework. Okay. No, bachcho, what you have to do, I'm going to write a question here. This is an organic compound X. It is passed through silicon dioxide and aluminum oxide and heat. This organic compound X turned into 2-carbon alkene. And then this 2-carbon alkene is passed, mixed with steam. It turned into a compound A. This compound A is mixed with orange liquid. A compound B is formed. This B is mixed A with again. And 2 compounds C and D are formed. Okay. And these are the steps. Here it is step 1. Here it is step 2. Here it is step 3. And here it is step 4. Okay, now question is, draw the displayed formula. Draw the displayed formula of A, B, C, D, and X and 2-carbon alkene. X and 2-carbon alkene. And part 2 of the same question, write chemical equation alkene. Write chemical equation for each step along with reaction conditions. Complete equation लिखनी है along with reaction conditions of each step. Okay, so इसको स्क्रीनशॉट करके सर जीशान डाल देंगे वहां. No, please. Please.